sugar fast, recap, summary, conclusions. It's bunk. I'm sorry, it is bunk. The whole promising thing about this was the theory that FGF21 would ramp up your metabolism and you could eat more and lose weight, so that there was no, you're losing weight without being in a big restriction, right? Put these windows up. You probably can't hear me with all that noise. It's not true. Now, unlike a lot of people, I really wanted to know if this was true by tracking calories. So I ate at maintenance to make sure that I wasn't just in a deficit, because how do you know if is it working because you're in a deficit, or is it working because it's working? There's something special about this, something new. So I did that and I maintained my weight. That's exactly what happened. I added maintenance calories and I did it right. There was 3 days of sugar fasting and 2 days of sugar diet. Sugar fast was mostly fruits, some honey, and some candy, some like sugary sweets, as we would call them, jelly beans and stuff like that. So it was done right, and I tracked all the calories, and the net effect was I lost, in the first 2 days, I lost a lot of water, and then it crept back up towards day 5. I did this for 5 days, should have said that first. And then what I wanted to do was go back to my high carb, high starch, low fat, moderate protein diet that I swear by. I love it. But at the same calories. Again, still at maintenance, tracking those calories, so that if I put on a lot of weight, I could say, I need to know if that was just because I went into a surplus. So exactly the same calories, just to be very, very objective and as scientific as possible about it. Okay. So, and what happened was, and then because I did the sugar fast for 5 days, I waited 5 days eating at maintenance on the high starch, low fat. Waited 5 days, hopped on the scales again. It's in my shorts, and my weight was virtually identical to the weight I was before starting the whole thing. So I started at 180.6, came back 5 days later at 180.8. The theory doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. There's nothing happening that is jacking your metabolism up and creating a deficit without you really restricting yourself. That was the promise. That's why I wanted to try it. I was very intrigued. It's not real. It doesn't work. So there are some people that this is working for. So you may think, well, how come that guy lost and that guy lost? There's another Irish fella, I forget his name at the moment, he's succeeding at it. There's Latchkey succeeding. They're eating in a deficit. They're not necessarily counting the calories, but I know the fella from down south in Ireland, he's when I listen to him talking, I can tell he's in a pretty big deficit. So it's working for him, fair play to him, no problem. But it's working because he's in a deficit. It's not working because his metabolism's going through the roof. Other conclusion, people say about, oh, you get crazy energy. No. If you're getting crazy energy, it's because you're probably eating in a surplus and you've got all that sugar coming in. I added maintenance and my energy levels were exactly the same as they always are. Nothing changed energy wise. Didn't get a buzz off it, even though I was switching from starches to mostly sugars. No difference. What else do I have? Yeah, well, so the question, you have to work with nature, you have to work with reality if you want to produce results in your life. You can't fight against it. So if you don't like the fact that you have to be in a caloric deficit, you're not going to win, because you have to work with nature. You have to accept the rules of how this reality works and work with it. And one of those laws is the laws of thermodynamics. Folks, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, when you put energy in here, whether it's from carbs, protein or fat, none of it disappears. It has to go somewhere and it has to do something. And if it has to go somewhere and do something, you cannot escape that reality. When you work with reality, you have to get a fair idea of how much energy you as an individual burn through per day, and you must eat slightly less or consume slightly less calories, but does not mean slightly less food necessarily. That's the beauty. That's the thing that people don't get. When you switch to a lower fat, when you bring your fats down, when you bring your starches up, which are very filling, and you focus on more lean proteins, the actual amount of food, the volume of food that you can eat can be much higher actually. You can eat more food, but the caloric value of those foods in total will put you in a deficit. Beautiful, which is what I do. I eat high volume foods. They're high volume and calorically, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of dense. Dilute. Calorically dilute. Stuck behind a lorry. So, and that's facing reality. That's facing reality and seeing reality for what it is. I need to be in a deficit, but how can I do it so that I can eat a good amount of food that's enjoyable, and that produces results, because it has to work. It just has to work. There isn't a person, a human being in this world that it won't work for. The laws of thermodynamics apply to all of us. So it's not as if, counting calories works for that person but not for that person. Bullshit, it works for everyone. If you've tried counting calories and it didn't work, I can promise you, you just weren't doing it correctly. I promise. It will work. So, that's a whole other video. The mistakes that people make without knowing. I'm not saying that they're bad people or they're stupid or anything like that. People that haven't done this for a while. I'm a trainer. I've been doing this for over 15 years. I see it over and over and over again. People who actually think that they are counting calories are not doing it correctly, and they're consuming hundreds more calories than they think every single day. That's the problem. Just like you can't defeat the laws of thermodynamics and eat more and get away with it, like eating like doing the sugar fast or sugar diet and thinking, I can eat more. Doesn't happen. On the other side, on the deficit side, it means that you must be in a deficit then to lose weight. But when you accept reality and work with it, you can succeed. You get to win. You get to produce the results you want in your life. Stop fighting against nature. Stop fighting against reality and work with it instead.